All right, welcome to another episode of 666 Seconds of Murder. That means each episode is less than 666 seconds, which is 11 minutes and 6 seconds. Oh, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to get started. Tonight, we're talking Idaho 4. You guys can't seem to get enough of this case. I'm right there with you. I am fascinated by it, and so I wanted to bring up a subject that's somewhat controversial, to some at least, I've seen in the comments, so I'm sure this is going to get some people fired up, but let's talk about it. All right, so my question, really lots of questions with this case, but really, Dylan and Bethany, the two survivors, they are just an enigma to me. I just wonder what, if anything, are they hiding? Of course, none of us know, and we can only, speculate about it. But this is entirely my opinion, my speculation. So, everybody's innocent, of course, until proven guilty. Neither of these two are considered suspects that we've been told, at least. So I want to start with Bethany, the one that we don't hear about as much. What we've been told is that she was there at the house during the incident in her basement level bedroom. But that's what the PCA says, and who knows if we can really trust that. Definitely some suspicion there. The PCA also says she was sleeping in her room during the incident and was not aware of anything, that, had happened until the following morning, right before they call 911, which was just before noon. Later, we hear rumors that the two survivors were actually texting and calling on their cell phones. The PCA bases the time of when the incident happened on the cell phones that they got from the two survivors. So they had to be doing something on their phones for there to be an established, quote, start and stop time for this incident to have happened. And I do know that some of the doorbell video of the car plays into that as well, but I'm not getting into that right now. We also know that the survivors called their friends to the house before they called 911. So we don't know, when that actually happened, how long before that, we don't know. But I'm sure Bethany knows, and I'm sure her cell phone probably does as well. So you wonder, do they have this information? Nobody's saying anything. There's a gag order. We also know that she was with Ethan and Xana at that party that night before at Sigma Chi, which was right there by their house. Supposedly that's where there was an altercation between Ethan and David Loach, one of his fraternity brothers. Not really sure exactly what happened there. Not sure if Brittany or Bethany left with Ethan and Xana. Did she leave at a different time? But she certainly would have a wealth of information about all of that if, of course, she was, witness to what happened at the party. But, again, it's just driving us all crazy that we don't know the answers to these questions. We also hear that Bethany has exculpatory evidence, which means it's to the benefit of the defense. And so, she's been fighting, coming back. She didn't want to testify if there was going to be a pretrial. So it's going to be interesting when the trial happens, what exactly is going to happen with Bethany, and what does she know that could help Brian? Did she see somebody run by her window? I heard a rumor about that. Not sure if that's true or not. Okay, now the more controversial of the two, I would say Dylan. She's caught a lot of flack online on YouTube. I've given her a lot of flack. A lot of us creators have, and rightfully so. You guys, as true crime consumers, also just really frustrated with her. We have been told that she was there at the house during the incident in her second floor bedroom, which would have been directly below Maddie's room on the third floor, and across the living room on the same floor as Xana's room. So kind of between both scenes. Originally, the police said that Dylan and Bethany had slept through the entire thing, but then later we get a story in the PCA that Dylan has some information that she seems to have seen a man, quote, clad in black, unquote, with bushy eyebrows, kind of a vague description, says she saw him in the hallway. I'm kind of curious, though, what girl that age uses the phrase clad in black? That just seems very forced and very suspicious, like someone else said those or wrote those words. And I don't care how crazy of a party house this was, you know, how do you ignore, after hearing whimpering, odd noises, voices, and seeing somebody walking down your hallway clad in black with this mask on, that you don't think that something might be off and you need to call 911? I mean, it's just mind-boggling. So how could she be awake and aware enough to hear someone playing with a dog upstairs and other voices she, says she heard, but not be able to hear the savage attack that had to have gone on with those 4 young people? I mean, wow. I don't even know how you could say that with a straight face. And I think most of us, aren't buying it. How could she be in a shock phase and also recall facts, exact quotes, and things like that? Just very suspicious. Was she on drugs at the time? I've heard that rumor. Of course, she, like any college kid doing that kind of stuff, maybe that was the reason. I don't know. Love to see some toxicology on was she on something and what's going on there. She was the one that invited Kaylee to come back that weekend. I put this out in another video. I caught some flack for it from some of the commenters. But, did Kaylee even go to this party with her? Because we know Maddie and Kaylee were at the bar until they returned home around 2:00. So I'm wondering if the party was a different night or she just wound up not going. Kind of weird, but I had also heard that Kaylee was a little uneasy about the house for some reason, definitely suspicious. Was something going on? I mean, we know Xana's dad was putting new locks on her bedroom door just before this happened. So it definitely makes you wonder what's going on. But the 8-hour delay in calling 911 is really the elephant in the room here with Dylan. So there has to be some kind of reason, because I'm not buying, what they're trying to feed us. Some other random thoughts here on this one. I mean, how do we know these two were even in the house? I've been kind of throwing this around in my mind. If they were somehow involved, even if it was just kind of making sure everybody got there that was supposed to be there, also to make sure that, the house was empty. I mean, if this was some big party house, kind of odd on a Saturday night, there's nothing going on at the house. I mean, we know there were parties when nobody was even there. So why was it so quiet? Who orchestrated that? Or was it just the way it went? I don't know. But, we don't know that one or both of them may not have been involved in some way. It seems to me like something's there, but I'm not quite sure. We know that police do leverage, when they've got a suspect or somebody that they, want to cooperate with them. And if maybe Dylan could have been involved in some sort of drugs. I mean, we've heard a lot about drugs. I'm going to address drugs and that angle in another video here coming up soon. Just some questions there with that. If these two were really, truly innocent, I hope that they're cleared officially and that all of us can, not worry or think that, that these two may have played a part in this. So love to get your comments below. So definitely let me know what you guys think. I love to read the comments. I appreciate you guys that have been following me and what I'm doing here. So Definitely something to think about, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for checking it out.